Okay. The Devils are getting beat here. Cats are on a bye. The Aggies lost. Miners won last week, yeah. Maybe they'll win again. We'll see. I don't know who they play. Shoot, I'm tired. I don't know how Lobos did. I didn't look them up. I'll have to look them up. I could check later or tomorrow. I'll check the Lone Star. Oh, there you go. The Lone Star Network, and see how the Hounds and the Stangs did. And they play in one of the best conferences in the Lone Star is one of the best conferences in Division Two. Yeah. Well, we don't have Commerce anymore. They went up to Division One, and they changed their name, I think, too, or something. I'm not sure, but they still got West Texas and Permian and a bunch of them, and yeah. So yeah, they're probably the toughest conference and one of the toughest conferences in Division Two. So it's Texas, but boy, I'm sleepy. I'm gonna go to bed here in about an hour or two. Um, uh, yeah, I was sitting there watching the Fresno San Diego football game, and Obama got on doing his, we got to vote for this crap and stuff, and a lot of things started, coming into, just full view. When I after they kidnapped the kids, and I sat there on watched on PBS and watched the big giant balloon with the where no one can see Anacostia. Anacostia doesn't exist in the South Lawn, and they did the little Latin music thing and stuff. And you sit there and you wonder, but they've been doing this for eon the terribles, You're like, they all know Anacosta's right there. You can see the South Lawn from Anacostia, right across the river. It's a horrible slum. And the solution isn't politics and money. The solution is living the ways of the Messiah. And back then, I know that by the feedback I got and the way that people were acting and stuff was, you know, I was this really bad charismatic cult leader and was gonna, the only reason I was being good is because they were watching me, and I didn't want to get caught, and then I wanted to use my charismatic cult connections to eventually take over. Was basically the way they were seeing it. And for some reason it seems like they still see it that way, which is utterly bizarre, but they still do. But when people are insane, it's hard to, if you're not insane, it's hard to understand why insane people keep thinking the way they do. You can't sit there and say, okay, let's just forgive debt and trespass. It's not time yet. No. No. That's the wrong answer, right? But it's not really a nice thing, but it'll do, pig. Uh, Technology isn't going to let you debate comic books, okay? And when you talk to your family that's like a Christian or a Muslim, right? And then if you tell them you're like Chris Baldwin, I believe in Odin and Thor and Loki, you're like, that's just comic book shit. It's like, yeah, but so is your book. Okay, and you can't debate comic books here. And it says in the Bible, I don't know about Odin and Thor and Loki books, but it says your faith has to be based on reality. Okay, you can't make up a religion, and you can't build your faith on stuff you make up. And if people make stuff up and you believe it, you don't really have faith. You're making up magical stuff to believe in because you can't handle reality. Okay, and so it's very fucked up. But when you can get people to accept comic books, they'll believe money's real and they'll kill and fight over it to get what they want and then justify it because they just, they were fighting for money for the wrong reasons, or how can you be a liar fighting over money? Who can be truthful when you're fighting over money? Which one of you is truthful? Okay. You're debating and fighting over comic book money. Yeah, and God said so, right? You're like, wow. And the technology does not work as well as someone like myself or Solomon or Confucius or Judah Krishnamurti right now. Obviously, the human beings are still able to manipulate it to still debate and kill over comic books. And you shouldn't be able to sit and discuss, comic books. And cheerleaders are cute. Well, yeah, it's ASU. I went to school there. Yeah, no, a lot of the girls are pretty, And the one guy told me, "How'd you go there?" And stuff. Well, I dropped out because it was genocidal because of the economics. And when I had classes with all the girls in it like that, I sat in the front. And in my history classes, I usually sit around the middle and stuff because I generally enjoyed, my major. But in all the core curriculum classes, you have to sit in the front because if you don't, they're in these big auditoriums and they're full of girls and they're shorts and you're like, you're young still, and who will be the woman to comfort me sexually? And it's hard to focus, so you sit in the front. It really helps. Yeah. You walk out, wow, she's really hot. Good thing I'm sitting there in the front paying attention to the professor, right? So it's fun. And the professors are usually, most of them are pretty cool. Most of them. When you get the jerks, it ruins the whole fucking semester. But most of the other ones realize that they're dealing with egotistical jerks, and they will try to, like Mr. Barnes, you don't have to read all the stuff, and you don't have to, and just, cover. You have to just memorize and understand and cover what the professor feels or thinks is important. Is what Mr. Barnes told us, and Professor Barnes was like, "Oh gosh, thank you." Just cater to their ego is basically what he said. He was an excellent professor. He was one of Fred Rogers' progenies. You know who Fred Rogers is? It's a wonderful day in our neighborhood. He was from Pittsburgh. He went to the University of Duquesne. And he was bullied and treated like shit. He went to after-school programs that Mr. Rogers, yeah, he talked about it too. Yeah, Mr. Rogers set up that kept him alive and got him out of Pittsburgh and got him a nice, and he ended up in Phoenix at ASU, and was friends with Professor Sorgel, who was an obnoxious, pretentious Rhodes Scholar from Yale, Harvard, Oxford, kind of, he was terrible. He was a terrible professor. Oh God, it was horrible. He was condescending, he was full of himself, and he talked out of everybody's vernacular except for the three people that sat in the front and all, hoo ha 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 ha. And you're just like, this is, Professor Barnes's class was the exact opposite. He would sit there and go, when you were a kid, did you ever used to watch Mr. Sherman and Peabody? And his boy Sherman, Mr. Peabody and his boy Sherman. And Star Trek, and he would sit there and he would do TV. And of course, which I really like because we were raised because mom had a big crush on Roberto Clemente. He was from Pittsburgh, so he likes the Pirates and he liked the Steelers, So he would refer to a lot of the things. You remember when the Steelers? Because this is unique. Because you had, like with me, you have to draw from your existence, your life, and a topic that currently helps you relate and understand it, like Miss Klinger used to do, and try to make it into something. And then he would explain to us, that life today is radically different than what these people were living in, like Mr. Peabody and his boy Sherman. And you go back, and you have to go back, like when he talked about Ben Johnson and other people, and he goes, you got to understand, you couldn't say this, or they would kill you. You couldn't do this, or that. That's why, and Amy told me his real name wasn't William Shakespeare. Well, William Shakespeare was like, his real name was Samuel Kilmans, but Mark Twain, right? And because you impugn my honor, like of Aaron Burr and Alexander Hamilton and stuff. And so, and they would try to kill you. They'd go, yeah, well, they're just as nutty now. They just do it differently now. Okay. It's just a different way for assholes to manipulate debating money over comic books than it did then. But the good thing about technology is technology, when it starts to police to save our lives, because that's what it's going to have to do, to save our lives from people that invented it to continue to try to kill each other and control everybody debating comic books and money so it's going to do that. And if it doesn't do that, have faith and jump. What if we're all dead? Then you won't be around to lament. Bedsitter people sit back and lament another useless day's energy spent. You won't have to worry about it. You'll be dead. And you'll be particles in space, and you won't have a brain in order to sit there and feel sorry for yourself and used to cry. Now you hold your head up high and you'll see me. So that's one of the things about faith based on reality, that you don't sit there. If you believe there's an infinite essence of all existence, and that the essence is infinite and life is eternal, And that's the whole thing with the whole thing about Obama and the Lopez stuff and the La Bamba stuff and the Pete Escovedo's daughter and all that stuff. People, it's not I understand the emotions and enjoy the song of William Smokey Robinson, Kinti Contigo. People can change. They always do. Or can it be like Love, I Was Blind? I want it so much that it was all in my mind. Life's eternal and grace is infinite. Truth is truth and lie is lie. I'm a little different than Smokey Robinson and Barry Gordy. Okay, I'm like Jesus and David and Muhammad. And so with me, when I do something, it's like, well, you say you love your children. Maybe one day you'll be capable of doing it. Life is eternal and grace is infinite. And your faith has to be based on reality. And when you can have faith based on reality of believing in truth and loving one another truthfully and faithfully, then you actually are, reflecting the worthiness of the gift of life, which is very special. It's very special. Like Bob Marley says, if you know what from learning from Haile Selassie, if you know what life is worth, you look for yours on earth, and now you see the light, so stand up for your right. And get up, stand up. Don't fight. You can't fight for peace. You have to stand up without fear for the wisdom and the truth and the courage of the Gospels. And then you do that, and that's what I'm doing. And I realize I'm the focal point, and I'm the guy who's Earl, the sort of Ralph and Mary in the Bible, and the 22nd reading of the Quran, and there was stuff. And so, I understand that always keeps me hopeful. And Suzuki and Sun Yat-sen, they killing me. No, you're going to be fine. And I keep saying, I think I'm nuts. Am I nuts? It's like, no. Okay, the torture that they're doing is keep people depressed and accept dying from poisoning and cancer through linguistics and stuff, okay? And then, you're going to survive, stop, eliminate, abuse, recover, okay? And when this is all done, the people that are all banking that, this is what I get from Suzuki and Sun Yat-sen, is that most likely what's happening is the people that think they're going to win are going to be the ones that we saved you from the other people that were trying to kill you. It's like, yeah, okay. I'm the one who was the example for technology to save people from people like you. Okay. So how did you save me from the Trump people, and how did the Trump people save me from the Obama people? I saved your children from both of you. And your children couldn't even save themselves because your children were being trained and conditioned to be just like you. So I don't want to hear it. Okay. Go Devils. Okay. Forks up, right? Yeah, that was pass interference. Okay, guys, I love you. We'll talk later. I just didn't feel much like talking this morning. I was just kind of a drag when your baby's brain don't work right. You know what? Listen to me when I'm talking. Do you know what I've been thinking? You've been drinking and driving that hot rod Lincoln, but I still love you. Okay, I love you guys. All right.